Now, as government is trying its best to rehabilitate or to take care of the refugees, the migrants, and the IDPs, unfortunately, we hear once in a while pockets of not too good stories from the camps of negative activities. Hello there, my name is Reuben Okala, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this week's edition of The Conversation. Afghan-American novelist by the name Khaled Hosseini has this to say about refugee, and I quote, "Refugees are mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, children, with the same hopes and ambitions as us, except that a twist of fate has bound their lives to a global refugee crisis on an unprecedented scale." Again, welcome to Conversation. My guest holds bachelor's and master's degrees in sociology from the University of Jos and Nasarawa State University, respectively. He has a distinguished career spanning almost 3 decades and began with his first appointment with the Federal Polytechnic Lafia from 2003.
Federal Polytechnic Nasarawa.
Federal Polytechnic Nasarawa, and later Nasarawa State University. My guest's major first political position was his election as the executive chairman and mayor of Nasarawa Local Government Council in 2014. He is an educationist, a nationalist, a mentor, as well as a philanthropist. My guest's track record, no doubt, culminated to his present appointment as the National Commissioner for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons in 2023 by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. My guest is no other than Honorable Tijani Aliyu Ahmed. Welcome to Conversation.
Thank you very much. Mr. Reuben, how are you?
I'm okay. You are looking good. What is the secret?
We thank God. We thank God. We really thank God for everything.
As simple as that. How is the biting economy and the dwindling economy?
It is a worldwide phenomenon. It's
Okay.
a worldwide phenomenon.
That's right.
I don't think anybody will blame Nigeria because this is a worldwide, it's a global issue.
All right.
Because everybody knows that we have economic downturn now all over the world. So Nigeria is not an exception.
That's right. May God help us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, while I was ruling your credentials, I mentioned Federal Polytechnic Nasarawa, not Lafia.
Not Lafia.
Okay.
We have State Polytechnic in Lafia, but we have Federal Polytechnic in Nasarawa.
Okay.
Nasarawa is the name of the state, and
Okay.
it is derived from one of the local government councils.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Where the Federal Polytechnic is located.
Okay.
And that's why I said it's Nasarawa.
Yeah.
When you said Lafia, you are talking about the State Polytechnic.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
so,
right.
So go ahead and tell us more about your educational background before we go.
Well,
ahead.
I was born and brought up in Loko. Loko is a district under Nasarawa local government. And that's where I did my primary education. After which I proceeded to government secondary school Udegembeki. Udegembeki is also another district under Nasarawa local government, where I obtained my WAEC certificate. And from there, I proceeded to Federal School of Arts and Sciences, Suleja, in Niger State. You know, that time you do lower 6 and upper 6 for 2 years. And I graduated from there and moved to the University of Jos and read sociology in my first degree. Proceeded for my NYC in Cross River State. And on my return, I get an appointment with the Federal Polytechnic in Nasarawa.
Right away.
As an admin officer too. And I moved up to the rank of an assistant registrar in the Polytechnic. And later in 2003, I left the Polytechnic for Nasarawa State University, Kefi. And I served in that university for a good 6 years until 2009, when I was first appointed as Secretary to National Local Government Council in 2009 up to 2011.
Okay.
And in 2014, I contested for the position of the Executive Chairman of Nasarawa, which I won that election. And then while I was the Executive Chairman of Nasarawa Local Government, His Excellency, then the Governor of Nasarawa State, Alhaji Tanko Umar Al-Malkura, saw in me and appointed me as the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs.
Wow.
When I was the Commissioner, I served diligently, of course. In 2017, I was redeployed to the Ministry of Education, where I became the Commissioner for Education between 2017 and 2029, when the tenure of the then Governor, Reuben Okala, elapsed. In 2019, a new government was ushered in, and Engineer Abdullahi Esule became the Governor of Nasarawa State.
All right.
In May 20...
You still continue in from one administration to another.
I know that.
You must be a hard-working man.
And Engineer Abdullahi Esule, the present Governor, appointed me as the Secretary of State Government of Nasarawa State. I served for 1 year, and I left. In 2023, again, the Governor reappointed me.
Wow.
Again as Commissioner for Local Government, which I served for only 30 days. And
as you see in our balance, now you work out.
And eventually, in September 14th, 2023, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, appointed me as Federal Commissioner, National Commissions for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons. So this is so far my career as a civil servant and as a politician.
That's right.
Till date.
Yeah. As I say behind the camera, when I grow up, I want to be like you.
No, you want to go for the second term.
Okay, yeah. Yes. I'm happy while you're rolling out your educational background.
That's right.
I didn't hear you say you studied in America or where. So
No.
So you acquire all your knowledge here. That is commendable.
I have
we have everything here, and everything that you had here give you your previous appointment. Not that you went abroad to study before you got the appointment.
Come with a different idea, but my idea is a Nigerian idea.
That's right.
It's a Nigerian idea.
All right.
Yes, along the line, as I've told you, after graduating in 1992, BSc Sociology, I also had my master's degree with the Nasarawa State University.
Wow. Everything within?
In sociology. And currently, I'm about ending my program as a PhD.
Wow.
All that in sociology. So all through is sociology.
In fact, I should start calling you doctor now, because you're already in class.
I don't want to commit any social suicide. But for now, I am senior master's holder.
Well, I'm on this seat, so let me call you. Let me say, Dr. Tijani Aliyu Ahmed. Welcome to Conversation once again.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Now, let's start like this.
Yes.
Who is a refugee?
Well, when we are to define a refugee, a refugee is that individual who, as a result of social upheavals, be it natural or man-made, left his country or to another country. By the time you leave your own country and found yourself in another country as a result of social crisis, you become a refugee automatically.
Okay. You're talking about one country to another. What are within the country?
No, within the country, you can be classified as a migrant. Because
okay, so there's a difference between refugee and migrant.
Yeah, refugee, yes. You cannot be a refugee in your own country.
Okay, that's the root. Okay.
Yeah, so but you can be a migrant.
Okay.
Yeah, because in the migration space, we have both internal and international migration.
Okay.
So it is international if you leave your domain, your area, and then to another. Maybe you are a plateau man and you live you decided to leave Plateau and go and stay in Nasarawa.
Okay.
That is migration. Migration.
Okay, that's right. So your commission is taking care of 3 categories. That is refugees, migrants, and
internally displaced persons.
Okay.
And the 3 of them we refer to them technically as people of concern.
Okay, people of concern.
Yeah, people of concern.
Okay.
The refugee, migrants, IDPs, we refer to them as people of concern.
People of concern because they need the help of the society.
They need help.
Okay. So, what are the main causes of refugee crisis, or migrant crisis, or IDP crisis?
You see, we have general and then we have specific. General in the sense that globally now, we have social crisis globally now. Crisis as a result of banditry, crisis as a result of kidnapping, crisis as a result of a natural disaster, or crisis as a result of when you have ecological issues.
Okay.
All these.
Like what just took place in Maiduguri.
Sometimes if this crisis comes, it clears your environment, your houses, your foodstuff, your everything got either burnt or destroyed.
Okay.
Naturally or by human made. On the strength of that, people live. Like today, we have many of our Nigerian people who are living in Cameroon as a result of Boko Haram. And they become refugees in Cameroon.
There, okay.
The same thing when you go to Chad, and at the same time when you go to Niger. So all these areas, these major countries around Nigeria, if you go there today, you find a lot of our people living there. And reasons for their living is social crisis, communal clashes, farmer headers clashes. All these are social crises.
That's right.
And these form part of reasons for people to move out of the country for another country in search of peace, in search of safety. As a result of that, they all become refugees. These are the basic reasons for coming up with issues of refugees.
Okay.
Causes of one becoming a refugee.
Now, how bad is Nigeria's situation as far as refugees, IDPs, and migrants?
Well, you see,
how bad is the situation?
You see, we cannot say the situation is bad in Nigeria, because if you hear other countries, you know that our one is just a child play. You can't go to Palestine and talk about Nigeria there.
It's not comparable at all.
We will compare Nigeria with what is happening in Ukraine and the rest of it. But the fact still remains that we have Nigerians who are now refugees in other countries. Specifically,
sorry, before I continue, Nigerians who are refugees in other countries, does your commission take care of them?
Of course, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought your commission takes care of those refugees from another country who are in Nigeria.
No. We have to also take care of our Nigerians that are living elsewhere.
Okay.
In another country. Of recent, I think the commission was in Cameroon. Go and see our people who are living there.
Your commission was in Cameroon?
In Cameroon.
Okay.
Because we have received a letter from the Nigerian refugees in Cameroon to say that they want to return back to the country. Now that we are beginning to experience peace now in our country, they want to return, particularly those Nigerians that are from Maiduguri, around Goza area, who fled from Nigeria and stay in Cameroon. The same thing when you go to Chad also. We are also in Chad during the last year fasting. I mean, it is this year fasting, last year fasting. No, this year fasting, we were in Chad. We spent about 2 weeks there in Chad.
Okay.
Because we have received a lot of complaints about the situation of our people that are living in Chad. We cannot just close our eyes.
That's right.
Because the donors, the international donors who are assisting Nigerians that are refugees elsewhere, we are also now, there are a lot of crises globally, in Ukraine, in Sudan. So the rate of assistance, the rate of support that is being given to our Nigerian refugees elsewhere is no longer there again, because of crisis has already engulfed all over the country, all over the world. We can't just leave our people like that.
Yeah.
If the support is not forthcoming from the NGOs, for international donors, why not? We have to go in and support our people.
That's right.
So we were in charge during the fasting period, and I want to tell you that we were well received by the Chadian government, and we will look into the welfare, the health of our people there that are living in Chad. And we are also making arrangement now after that trip to see how we can bring them back to the country, because they were eager to return back to Nigeria. And Nigerian government is also working earnestly to ensure that our people who are living elsewhere and who voluntarily want to return back to Nigeria are being returned. You know, one of the international laws, you don't force somebody to live where he is. The person that wants to live and return to Nigeria must be voluntarily, not forcing him to return.
Yeah.
So, because one of the best international standards of bringing back your people, they must voluntarily agree that they want to return back to the country.
Yeah, at the beginning, I asked you how bad is the situation, and you told us how it is. Now, let's go specifically now. In concrete terms, what other functions is your commission focusing as of present? How are you coping with the situation?
You see,
what are the vision and the mission of the commission?
You see, one of the major mandate of the National Commissions for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons is to provide protection, provide assistance, support to the people of concern, and which I have earlier interpreted to you. But when we talk about the people of concern, we're talking about the refugees, the migrants, and then the IDPs. I have tried to explain to you who is a refugee.
A refugee.
And then in the area of migration, a migrant is somebody that have left this country to another in search for a greener pasture. So also, a migrant is somebody that left other countries and come to Nigeria also searching for a greener pasture.
Okay.
The whole thing is about movement. And I've told you the movement can be internal or international.
That's right.
It is internal when people will leave from one state to another in Nigeria. It is external if a Nigerian left Nigerian space and then go to stay in America, London, Australia, and so on and so forth. That is an international migration.
Okay.
And in this case, you need to also provide protection for the migrant who are living elsewhere and who are living here. A Cameroonian migrant needs protection from you. And this is one of the major also functions of the commission, to ensure that a migrant who left all the way from other country to Nigeria is given a support, is being protected.
Okay.
And make sure that he is in a safety hand. This is one of our functions here. Of course, at the same time, as a commission, we need to also find out what is happening to our own Nigerian people who are living elsewhere. Are they in safety situation? Are they comfortable there? What are their needs? We make sure that all the best practice of putting the international laws were being critically observed.
That's right.
We need to do that for them to give them that kind of protections. But don't forget that there are two ways of living this country from our own definition of movement, migration.
Okay.
Somebody
I guess there's one that you propose to go.
No, not only propose.
Okay.
If you want to go to America now, or if somebody wants to live here for UK, seeking for greener pasture,
Yeah.
he has to follow due process.
Yes.
Apply for visa and so on and so forth.
That's right.
He must have somewhere to go there. That person that is going and where he was going,
Yes.
is going.
Your accommodation, if you are schooling, if you are getting job.
Exactly.
If it is Jakpa.
That is the other aspect of it again.
Jakpa is another aspect of it.
That is movement illegally, not through the normal process.
Okay, that's another.
That is entirely another, and that is what we are trying to say, that people should stop moving illegally. I'm sure you might have experienced a situation where our Nigerian people live here through the Mediterranean Sea and they were lost out there. Sometimes you hear that the boat has capsized and hundreds of Nigerians died
gone
through that. This is what we are trying to make sure that it's been avoided. And we are putting a very strong and formidable public information about how to move and when to move and not to move.
That's right.
And if you are moving, this is where you should follow. But don't follow this way. But
so
go the other way.
If you travel out of the country legally, not illegally, not legally, is your commission also responsible for those who are there legally too? Like, for example, we call them expatriates.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
No. If somebody lives out of this country, certainly he is working there. He needs protection now from his own government.
How do you call them? No, they are not refugees.
They are migrants.
They are migrants. Okay.
They are migrants.
What's the difference between migrant and expatriate?
It's the same thing. Expatriate is the white man that came in here.
Okay.
You understand? You refer to him as an expatriate.
Yeah.
Here in Nigeria. And then he is bringing knowledge, technology into the country. Then you refer to him as an expatriate. And at the same thing, even a Nigerian who is technically sound, left this country and work elsewhere in one of the countries in the West, is an expatriate there. Not necessarily he must become a white person.
Yeah, that's right.
So transfer of knowledge, I think that is what is referred to as an
and your commission take care of them too.
Of course, we need to know about them.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
if they're right to say this is what, this is this, they want this assistance, they want, we have to do that.
Now we've been shouting climate change, natural disaster, and the rest of them. How do climate change and natural disaster play? What role do they play in refugee cases?
Yes, when you have flooding, that one is a natural disaster, and it could also be referred to as the climate change. When you have a change in the climate, of course, people react to it, either negatively or positively. Just like what happened in Maiduguri some few months ago. That is a natural disaster. Flooding, nobody knows that it's coming. But it has come, and so many people were affected. Nigerians experienced a lot of victims as a result of that flooding. That is a natural disaster. And that is also a climate issue.
That's right.
When you have a dry season, and when the season is dried and the wind is blowing all over, that is a change in the climate. And that can blow houses. That can cause fire outbreak. That is a natural disaster. And at the same time, it's caused by what? Climate change. And then if you also have an explosion, just like what happened some few weeks ago in Jigawa, we were there, where hundreds of people died as a result of tanker explosion. That is a natural disaster.
Yeah.
It's not a man-made. But where you have bandits attacking, killing people, sending some communities, whole community away from their natural abode, that is man-made. But you can still call it as a displacement.
Yeah.
As a result of man-made disaster. So all this put together causes movement, either internally or internationally.
That's right.
If they move internationally, they become refugees. And if they move internally, they become migrants.
Migrants.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
internal
migration.
You have 3 cases on your hand.
Yeah. So I think our core mandate is in respect of refugees, migrants, and the internally displaced persons.
Okay.
Yes, and that is why today, as I'm talking to you, I have spoken about refugees. I also made mention of issues regarding migration. But for the internally displaced person, this is an internal issue. And it's the same factors that caused migration and becoming a refugee could also be aligned with the issue of internal displacement.
Okay.
Flood, natural disaster, banditry, Boko Haram, and so on and so forth, causes the movement of people from one place to the other. By the time you put them in one place, you now have an IDP camp.
Yeah, that's right.
We're
going to go there. IDP camps.
As a result of those factors earlier mentioned.
Yeah.
So you have the IDP camps now. That is why today in Nigeria, from our figures, both those that are living in the camp and those that are living within the host communities, we have no less than about 6.1 million Nigerians that were displaced.
Yeah, if I'm coming to that, about computerization and figures, you're calling about 6 million.
Yeah, when you talk about people that are living in the camp, which were being
that's different camps in the country.
In the country,
okay.
Because almost all the 36 states of Nigeria, you go, you have IDPs.
Almost every state.
Every state we have IDPs. And if you put the number of those that are living in the camp, you will get not less than 3-point-something million Nigerians that are living in the camp and are referred to as IDPs. This is also an international figure. But if you want to put together, including those that are living within the host communities, you will get not less than about 6.1 million Nigerians. But when you have the international NGOs with their figures, they will tell you 3.1 because they are going into those that are living in the camp. Because they might not know those that are living within the host communities.
Okay.
So there is difference between those that are living in the camp and those that are living within the host communities.
Yeah.
So when you put these figures together, you will find not less than 6 million.
Yeah, that's, as you said before, a refugee is also described as an alien, displaced person, immigrant, evacuee, exile, expatriate, foreigner. Now, how is the plight of an average refugee? Don't answer me until we return from this break. So, Dr. Ahmed is still in the building. Let's take a short break. We'll be back to continue the discussion. Yeah, welcome back. This is his conversation. Dr. Tijani Ahmed is still here with me, and we have been discussing refugee crisis. And he's in charge of National Commissioner for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons. He has 3 major functions: taking care of the refugees, taking care of migrants, as well as IDPs. Describe to us the plight of an average refugee, migrant, and IDPs.
You see, when you are talking about the plight of the migrants or refugees, of course, even if you are not informed, you should know that whoever is living out of his own natural abode.
That's right.
you should know that he's somebody of a dear
but you provide some little assistance to them, at least to make them.
Not to make them. No matter how much you are going to provide to somebody, if he's not the one providing for himself, that is a problem. Because you will not be able to take care of all of his needs. But however, I want to specifically appreciate the government of Nigeria for having concern towards the refugees. Refugees, both the ones that are in Nigeria from other countries, and also our own Nigerians that are living outside Nigeria sphere. I remember some 3-4 months ago when we have our refugee day, we hosted a lot of refugees, and mostly from Cameroon. The Nigerian refugees that are living in Nigeria are mostly from Cameroon, just like when we have about 43,000 Nigerians that are living in Cameroon. Of course, you talk about their education. You talk about their health.
That means you provide schools for them.
You assist them.
Okay, assist them. Okay.
You assist them. You cannot provide all their needs.
Okay. Do you build schools within the camp?
No.
Or
no, because we want to ensure that we give them absolute protection, and we recognize them as citizens of their own countries, and at the same time give them the necessary human rights. We allow them to school along with our own children, Nigerian children. This is one of the basic things I think Nigerian government is doing for the refugees who are living in Nigeria. They go to the same school with the children of the host communities. We allow them, they also go up to the university level and school. In Nigerian universities today, you will find a lot of refugee children schooling in our Nigerian universities. And they were given good attention, care, protection. This is Nigeria for you. But no matter what you are going to give to somebody, better for him to have found it himself rather than to receive from you.
Yeah, that's right.
But however, some of the refugees, government engage them in providing services. And they are in the role and the payroll of Nigerian government. We agree, you can attest to that. Equally to those people that migrated elsewhere from other countries of the world. We're here in Nigeria working, either in private sector or even in some government establishments, because they play a key role in knowledge dissemination, in technology dissemination.
That's right.
Because there must be that transfer of knowledge and technology. Because we need that. And so therefore, Nigeria accepts the expatriates that are here in this country to work for Nigeria. And they were properly being taken care of. At the same time, the IDPs, their situation is very sympathetic. Somebody losing the whole of his family. Somebody being displaced from his natural abode.
Yeah. Father, mother, children disappear. They are not living the same place. We don't even know where they are.
We don't even know sometimes where they are. But yet, through the commission, the federal government is trying its best to provide food to support them, providing non-food items, even to some large extent, provide them with farm implement to farm. Just some 3-4 months ago, the National Commissions for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, in conjunction with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, launched a program which is referred to as REHAPI, that is renewed hope for the refugees, agriculture for the refugees, where we have our pilot project in Nasarawa State, in Borno State, and in Plateau State. 3 pilot projects in these 3 states, where about 1,000 displaced persons, either refugee or IDPs, were involved in cultivation of land In Nasara, about 150 hectares of land where beans and rice were cultivated. In Plateau, we have about 150 hectares being cultivated by both refugees and then displaced individuals.
Wonderful.
And then in Maiduguri, we have about 200 hectares. And in this, to sum it up, we have 200 people, 200 people in Maiduguri. 600 people in Maiduguri. 200 people in Plateau and 200 people in Nasarawa State. When you put together, about 1,000 were engaged in farming. Because the issue of always giving out by the federal government to the displaced individuals might not be feasible, particularly now with the economic downturn.
Yes.
We have to find another way so that these people will be engaged themselves, cultivate the farm and the land.
You know, I was going to ask, apart from this farm, there, I'm impressed with what I was telling me about agriculture.
Yeah.
There are other entrepreneurial activities
also,
too.
I am committed to that.
Okay.
I'm also committed
to that. All right, go ahead.
But this time we're talking about agriculture. By the time you provide food, you provide life. So we have these people now on the farm. They will do the farming for them to feed themselves, and at the same time their remnants will go to the market. And then get what they can use for other issues, pay their children's school fees and so on and so forth.
Interesting.
Take care of their health demands. Aside the farming program, we are also into providing skill acquisitions to our IDPs, training them some trades through which they can now survive their life and make a living. The National Commission for Refugees are working towards establishing skill acquisition centers in the 6 geopolitical zones. But very soon,
that's a good one.
We invite you very soon to Niger State, where we are going to have our first flag off ceremony for the construction of a well-furnished skill acquisition centers to take care of refugees and the IDPs.
First of its kind.
First of its kind by the Commission.
Okay.
Within the North Central Zone. In the center, we intend to build hostels that will accommodate, so that if we are removing you as a refugee or a displaced person from Plateau, you don't say you are taking me to Niger, where will I stay? No.
You have a place to stay already.
You have a place to stay there. And it is arranged in such a way that every quarter of the year, we should be able to graduate about 250 graduates from each of the centers when completed. So this is another aspect again that we are moving towards to ensure that the refugees, the internally displaced person, we are given a life to live.
That's right.
And not only that, in most of our camps, we have built schools. We have our own makeshift schools where we train the children of the IDPs.
The commission gets teachers for them.
Volunteers.
Okay, volunteers.
NGOs are also participating in teaching the children of the IDPs.
And they rise through the primary school
up to secondary school.
Wow.
While we are looking into them to ensure that they benefit from that educational provision by the commission. If you allow them to remain in the camp without giving them the education, they were more or less trying to prepare criminals.
Exactly.
And we're adding more criminals to the society.
You're also empowering them as they're in the camp.
In the camp. So therefore, our mind now goes to educating the children of the IDPs. Okay. And if you go to the Wasa camp today, you will see something different today. We have arranged for a makeshift classes in Wasa primary school there.
Wasa is in Plateau State?
Wasa is in Abuja here.
Okay, Wasa, okay.
Wasa. Okay. It's in Abuja here.
Okay.
You go there, you see what's happening there wonderfully. Provided fantastic plastic chairs
In fact,
and
the
tables.
refugees need the assistance of the society. Let's talk, initially talking about NGOs. How do international humanitarian organizations assist in this drive?
Yeah, not only the refugees, including the migrants too. We have the
And the IDPs as well.
We have the UNHCR, United Nations Refugees Commissioners now, refugees. We have them there who are giving a lot of assistance to our refugees. Of recent, of course, they built about 50 houses in Maiduguri to accommodate refugees that have been repatriated, from Cameroon back home. They provided that 50 houses for them. We have also the IOM. IOM are the international organizations too who are helping the area of migration. People that have been sent back to this country, who have been evacuated, it's mostly done by the IOM. And at our end here, the National Commission for Refugees receive them, give them psychosocial support, and then transport them back to where they wish to go, maybe back to their own ancestral homes. We take them there, we give them transport, we give them starter pack, then we give them training so that they can start their life, because some of them left this country for many years.
Yeah.
As they return, you need to give them some psychosocial...
To reorientate them.
You have to give them some orientation.
That's right.
So that let them become Nigerians fully. And in doing that, we have to provide them with what to start their life.
That's
so
right.
All these, the commissions has been doing it.
Now, June every year is celebrated as World Refugee Day.
Yeah.
And we just had the one for 2024. And it has the theme, No Borders to Humanity, One World, One Heart, One Refugee. Home is where the heart finds peace. Heart beats over hatred.
Yeah.
Can you explain to us
This thing we are trying to say that wherever you find yourself, make it your home. And it is our duty to make sure that those refugees that are from other countries that are living in Nigeria, let them find Nigeria as home.
Feel at home, as you say.
Let them feel at home. That's why I said we treat them just like the normal host community people. We allow them to go for the educational career, pursue the educational career. We also engage them in services in both government and the private sectors. So that is home for them. It doesn't mean that because they come from Cameroon, they should be treated differently. No. And that is why it was coined that way. And that is what we are doing. And that is what the Nigerian government is doing. And that's why I said we appreciate the government of Nigeria for all that it has been doing for our refugees, for our migrants, and also for our internally displaced persons.
Okay.
We thank God to Mr. President.
That's right. At the beginning, I made a quote from an Afghan-American novelist by the name Khaled Hosseini. This is what he said. Refugees are mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, children, with the same hopes and ambition as us, except that a twist of fate has bound their lives to a global refugee crisis on an unprecedented scale.
Yeah.
What can you tell us from here?
This is very true. Anybody you see here in Nigeria as a refugee is either a father or a mother, or a son or a daughter.
That's right.
But the only fact is that as a result of international crisis, he has now found a new place. And so we should always look at them as fathers, just like the way we look at ourselves. We should also be looking at them as children, just the way we are looking onto our own children. There shouldn't be any discrimination. That is what that phrase is talking about.
That's right.
But crisis, as it has come, either naturally or man-made, has risen them to leave their own countries and then live here in Nigeria, while living elsewhere in Cameroon, Nigeria, and Chad. So this is what that phrase is talking about.
Okay.
Whoever you see as a refugee is either a father or a mother or a child.
That's right.
Or a grandchild, and so on and so forth. So always treat them as such. Don't discriminate.
Yeah.
Let them feel free. Let them feel belonging. let them feel part and parcel of the community.
Yeah.
In doing that, I think we're fulfilling our law of the human rights.
That's right. Now, as government is trying its best to rehabilitate or to take care of the refugees, the migrant, and the IDPs, unfortunately, we hear once in a while pockets of not too good stories from the camps of negative activities, evils, rapes, and other vices.
That's one issue. That is a national phenomenon, if not an international phenomenon. You see, always when you put people more than 100, more than 200, about 300, 400, 500, in some cases in thousands, living together, you should know such petty criminal things will be happening. But in our own case, it's even much, much better. If you hear what is happening elsewhere.
Okay.
Yes. Because here, we try to put eyes on them. We provide them with some medical...
In form of maybe security, police, and
policing,
other outfits to take care of them so that they will not misbehave in the camps.
So that they don't misbehave. We have been doing that. But of course, you cannot rule out the possibility of such pocket of insecurity or whatever happening.
Okay.
But at least the government is doing its best to protect the IDPs, to protect the refugees.
And I'm sure you have laws and ethics in the camps too, so that
of course, within the camp, we arrange in such a way that we have leaders in every camp who will be looking into others and then be reporting to the commission for necessary assistance or action.
Okay.
We've been doing that. In the area of health, they will report anything that is beyond their taken care of. They report back to the commission and we take some necessary measures. If there are issues of criminality, of course, we don't allow you to go free. But however, with human face and dignity, because one of the basic things you have to make sure that whatever you are doing, you should be doing it with dignity.
That's right.
Yes.
So they also have social life at the camps too.
Of course they do. I tell you, they operate like the normal human beings.
Yeah.
Yes. Because we give them the opportunity, but we make sure that they don't go beyond the bounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what are the challenges that you face? Because it's an enormous task taking care of refugees, migrants, and IDPs. What are your challenges, and how are you tackling them?
Well, I think so far so good. The Commission has been trying its best. But of course, as usual, you should know, there are there are a lot of challenges. And one of which is paucity of funds. And that one too is a general issue, not only the Commission. Even the Nigeria itself, the kind of situation that we are today. But however, we are still managing the situation. The little that we were able to get from the government.
We're moving ahead, we're pushing ahead despite all odds.
Yeah, despite all odds. I can tell you that even the NGOs, the international organizations, are also crying for financial inadequacies. I remember one of the meetings that was held this morning with the United Nations refugees commissioners is that we should experience a reduction in the budget. That you should know that the crisis is all over the world. But I want to still, despite the economic crunch, the Nigerian government is trying the best that is good.
That's right.
To ensure that we meet up to our own expectations. And that's why I said I want to appreciate Mr. President. But however, I hope that with the increase in the mandate of the Commission, because one thing you should understand that this Commission was initially Commission for Refugees only.
Okay. Now we have added migrants and IDPs.
Responsibilities, migration and IDPs. And we don't have a
Do you work hand in hand with the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs?
Okala is our supervisory minister.
Okay, yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah. So with the additional mandate now of migration and IDPs without corresponding increase in our income, in our budgetary allocations. I think that is one of the major problems. But I hope that government, out of its magnanimity, will look into this, and also the National Assembly will also look into this, and to ensure that we will have an upward review of our budget envelope,
to take care of the task
take care of the tax ahead of us.
That's right.
All the additional responsibilities, which is migration now, and then certainly displaced persons.
Now, finally, if I bring all the refugees and all the migrants and all the IDPs in one room like this for you to address them, what will you say? What will you tell them?
One, I will appreciate the patience in which they are living in. I will also inform them on the effort of the federal government, of what the federal government are doing for their safekeeping, for their protection, because this is the major thing. And then also some of the programs, ideal programs, invented by the government for their success and for their living. I will tell them that. And I will also inform them of the effort the government is doing to ensure the provision of health facilities. Because I remember the last time when the Honorable Speaker, our Right Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, Tijani Abbas, visited one of the camps to celebrate his birthday with our IDPs.
Wow, interesting.
Very interesting. And he promised to build them a clinic. That is government effort.
Yeah, that's right.
And I also remember last week we were in Jigawa with a lot of items to help the families, the victims.
Dr. Tijani Aliyu Ahmed, I think we should have part 2 of this discussion. Don't you think so too? Because I'm enjoying it.
I wouldn't mind that.
But they are giving me instruction that we're up.
Oh, thank you very much.
So let me...
Okay, to round it up, let me thank your organization for inviting us today to come and speak about the people of concern. These are people that need assistance. These are people that need help from both individuals and organizations. And let me call on the Nigerian people to please come to the aid of these concerned people. They need support. They need assistance. And let me also use this opportunity to thank Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for all the effort that his government is putting into ensuring that these people of concern have been taken care of. I want to assure the peoples of concern that the National Commission for Refugees will be there for them at any time.
All right.
I thank you very sincerely for this invitation.
So let me also thank you for coming on our show.
Thank you very much.
All right. On that note, I want to call it a day.
That's right.
So this is Conversation for the Week. My name is Reuben Okala. Next week, I'll be here again with another guest. For now, let me say bye for now.